going on, Jerome's? Minnesota Vikings need to get back to having the meats along the defensive line. And yeah, stopping the runs is very important, but what's more important is getting buckets. Like, can you rush the passer along the defensive line, right? Because it opens everything up. You learned it from the Eagles. You learned it from other teams as well. Get dudes up front. Hey, stopping the run, fantastic. Love me some Harrison Phillips. Love Tillery. Love Jonathan Bullard. But dudes who can rush the passer. That's what we need. That's why I got high hopes for Jalen Redmond, LDR, etc. But Vikings need to add more. And they got to get creative doing it, even though it's a great defensive tackle class. Vikings don't have a ton of draft picks. They have a ton of cap, which is why they should be searching options out in free agency, even if they are short-term ones. Enter one Sheldon Rankins. Ari Merov. The Bengals have released veteran defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, clearing $9.6 million in cap space, a free agent signing that didn't pan out. And Rankins had signed a 2-year, $25 million deal last offseason with the Bengals, but only started 7 games due to meningitis, but is revved up, ready to go. And even though he's a little bit longer in the tooth, he can still rush the passer, which is the name of the game. So let's talk about Rankins today. Background: turns 31 in April, 6'2", 305, former number 12 overall pick in 2016. Out of Louisville by the Saints. Don't hold that against him. Yeah. But over a 9-year career, he's turned himself into one of the more consistent pass-rushing defensive tackles in the league. He's bounced around from New Orleans, 2-year deal with the Jets in 2023 with the Texans, and last year, like the aforementioned Bengals. But 30.5 career sacks, 44 tackles for loss, and just consistently getting heat and pressure on that quarterback. Notably had 6 sacks 2 years ago, 2023, his last full healthy season with the Texans. And also he had a 9.7% pressure rate, which is solid for an interior, 42 pressures, etc. Now, Sheldon, like I said, didn't work out with the Bengals, but that could be a gain for the Vikings because Kwesi loves the medical guys. Bring me your slightly older, bring me your injured, bring me your cheaper type players. And that's what Rankins is at this moment in time. So bottom line, what does Sheldon Rankins bring? Cheap rotational veteran, right? So he's not going to be a 1,000 snap guy, and also he's not going to be breaking the bank. Like, he's not going to approach that 2-year, $25 million deal. My guess, 4.5. Somewhere in there. Still is a solid pass rusher, as evidenced by his 2023 season with the Texans. Positional flexibility, has generally played either 3-tech, 4-tech, 5-tech throughout his career, both sides of the defensive line. So essentially a plug-and-play, third down passing situation rusher that you can toss in there. Contract is not going to affect comps. Also, he could be signed right now. So players that are cut during this period don't have to wait until the start of the new league year, March 12th. They can be signed right now, and also his contract, since it's not an expiring one, would not affect what comp picks the Vikings would get for 2026. Like we mentioned, he was on the 2023 Texans defense with Cashman and Grenard and Shaq Griffin. So chemistry. And Kwesi's just like Pokemon for the 2023 Texans defense. Got to collect them all. That's what he's doing, man. Also, like we said, this is a Kwesi special, a type of player that, for whatever reason, he's been a devalued and distressed asset because of age, because of injury, because of blah, 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 right? So Sheldon Rankins certainly could and should be that dude. And in terms of guys that can come in rotationally, play 15, 20 snaps a game, press the pocket, get pressure, I think the Vikings could do a lot worse. Plus, getting a guy like Rankins, like, is he the big ticket item like Milton Williams or Osa Odighizuwa? No. Is he going to be a long-term piece of the puzzle? No. I mean, he's probably a 1-year or 2-year player, but that is the essence of Moneyball as well. Just getting the last little bit out of a veteran for cheap, and a player that can play a specific role. Plus, it puts the Vikings in a spot where they don't necessarily have to hammer defensive tackle in the draft if it isn't there when they're on the clock. So overall, like, I do like Rankins a lot. I think that for the right price, he would provide exactly what the Vikings need, and that's a guy that can come in, blow up a gap, and get his own pass rush. So I think the Vikings certainly should and could consider him. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings need to sign veteran defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.